All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's focus activity and today's webinar. My name is Liam, and any second now, I'll be joined by Cathal as well. There he is.
Hey!
There he is. Assistant DOS,
Hello.
FIFA Nemesis, Cathal.
We're gonna start this now, are we?
Well, just Cathal, I had to think, this is our first webinar.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking the same thing, yeah.
And we've been doing these for a month now. And this is the first time we've done one together, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like the school's missing out. It's the dream team.
I feel like that might have been a ploy by Giordano.
To keep us apart.
It really is.
Keep us apart as long as possible. Absolutely. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've just ordered a new guitar online, so I am waiting for that to arrive. Hopefully next week. I think it'll probably arrive next week because I ordered it on Sunday.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited about that.
I didn't know you played the guitar.
Yeah. I dabbled, shall we say? I dabbled with it a couple of years ago, and that was kind of, it was when, because my grandfather passed his guitar on to me, and so my dad kind of took that guitar and tried playing it with that. So I was usually just playing piano alongside him, and so obviously now with the quarantine situation the way it is, I just thought, why not? It could be a good idea to improve some sort of skill, seeing as I haven't improved any other skill. I've been trying to improve my Italian, but my Italian has not been going too well, even though I have this Italian for Dummies book.
Yeah, like I feel like everyone else is improving. I'm just getting worse at things. Yeah. I'm actually regressing under quarantine. No, so acoustic guitar, yes, not electric.
Oh God, yeah, acoustic. I couldn't do that to my housemate and neighbors. That would be too cruel.
Yeah, it's like when I was a child, I expressed an interest in learning the violin, but my parents quickly told me. My parents quickly put a lid on that because they said when you're bad at the violin for a long time before you get good, it's really bad for everyone else.
It's so true.
There are some instruments.
I really hope that's not going to be the case for guitar.
There are some instruments where it's more tolerable to play it badly. I feel like the guitar is not as obnoxious or intrusive if you make a mistake.
Yes, it is quite forgiving. I'll say that.
Exactly. So you've been trying to improve your Italian. You're picking up the guitar again. Yeah. Anything else? Any other lockdown activity?
I mean, oh God, like everybody else, just kind of watching just everything. Way too much television. Yeah, I decided a while ago to buy the subscription for Disney Plus, and that has served me very well. It served me very well. I had a lot of throwback movie moments, as well as some cool Marvel movies as well.
Of course, because Disney own Marvel. When I log on to Disney Plus, I always forget that Disney pretty much own everything now, and so you can watch, it's true. You can watch Marvel films, Disney classics, The Simpsons, the Star Wars saga, just you name it.
Yeah. There was like a little video going around of because the way Disney have like an expo every year. It's called D23, of like all the things that are happening, and somebody was like this is going to be the D23 intro in 20 years, and it was just every single movie brand amalgamated into one intro, like Universal, Fox, 20th Century, all those kind of things.
That that's a joke, but that might well come to pass, I think.
Yeah,
So yeah,
well, I think so.
it's a trip down memory lane. Is just what I've written up there. That's a
Uh,
little expression. Like, for example, my girlfriend and I, we've got a Disney Plus subscription as well, and we've been watching some of the old classic Disney films. So the other night we watched Robin Hood,
oh,
and
great
it's
film.
great film, great film. I'd forgotten, and I had lots of memories of my time as a child watching Robin Hood.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I've been playing quite a bit of PlayStation. I'm up to division.
Uh,
I'm up to Division 4 in the FIFA rankings, which is quite good. But
hey, nice.
yes, but I'm coming up against some pretty tough opposition. I think I might be heading straight back down through the trapdoor as my first try.
Oh yeah, as soon as I got to Division 2, I said, I've peaked. I'm stopping now before I get
Yes,
kicked down again. You
yeah,
know, that's
exactly.
just me.
Can't get relegated if you don't play.
This is the Brighton thing anyway at the moment. All the Premier League teams that are looking at relegation, they're like, well, we didn't finish the season, so
I think I'm finding this is obviously a privileged problem. I'm finding the lack of football the most difficult thing to handle at the moment.
really, just like
Yeah,
no live sports to watch.
the prospect of, well, no live sports is bad enough, but the prospect of an entire summer with no football, that is something that, I really do not look forward to, because it was going to be the Euros
Yeah, exactly.
and no
So, God, what's
Olympics,
going to happen now?
no Olympics, no Wimbledon as well, because usually
Oh my God.
I'm not a huge tennis fan, but I enjoy Wimbledon, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm it's tough, although at least the weather today is making me happy because it reminds me of home.
Oh yeah, I literally was thinking the exact same thing, just looking at it going, that's a terrible day. It's fantastic.
I know, and it's funny because I just had the complete opposite. I just had a webinar with Michelle, who was saying that this, of course, is her idea of hell on earth. She's really not enjoying this.
Oh
Oh,
dear. I mean, like it's one of those things. I sometimes prefer. I would prefer if the weather was like this for like a good stint of the quarantine, because when the weather's fantastic and you're not able to go outside, that makes me feel
agreed.
awful because I'm just like
Agreed.
cooped up.
Absolutely,
So I
yes.
prefer it this way.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I think a bit of rain and bad weather might actually be a blessing in disguise at the moment because, as you say, when it gets to the lovely spring days that we have here in Milan, I think then people will start to really chafe against these restrictions a lot more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, today might be a day because I'm finishing. Well, I'm not finishing for a while yet, but when I do finish, I think today might be the day to go to the shop for the week because, like I don't know if anyone will want to be waiting
Yes,
outside in the
that's a
rain.
good point. I didn't think of that. That's a good point, actually. You're right. Do you know there's a website you can log on to that tells you how long the queue is at your nearest supermarket?
That's incredible. I did not know that. What?
Yeah, there's I think it's quite it's just I think it uses like Google tracking, so it just counts how many phones are being used in an area, but it will tell you if the queue is longer than
Oh,
30 minutes or 10 minutes. I'll
yeah,
try
yeah,
and
yeah. Oh, that's great.
I'll send it you after this webinar.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, because it's oh God, the Esselunga around the corner from me is just chock a block every single day. Like just like hordes of people
It was
is an understatement.
Was it really bad? Because here we have a very big Esselunga, but here it was very bad in the days leading up to Easter because I think everyone wanted to do their shopping before the holiday.
Yes.
And we had it literally in almost a complete
Yeah.
square around the block.
Wow.
It
My
took
God. Yeah. No,
me,
we had the same thing. It was like it was in out around the car park, and like up the street, like 150 meters down the street and around the corner. Like, oh God.
It took me, I think, an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes total to queue up and get the shopping done. And the mad thing
that would have been a quiet day in RS Salunga.
Yeah, but the mad thing is, once you're in the shop, it's fine. You wouldn't know anything was happening. It's very strange.
Exactly, because everybody's just walking around.
Yeah. I mean, and do you have a mask, Cathal, or are you just using a scarf?
I do have. Do you know what? I was very lucky because my my aunt, who she's a dentist in Ireland, she closed down her surgery and sent me a load of face masks in the post. So this is my secret stash of face masks that I'm slowly going through.
Can you tell? Do you think your aunt could help out the British government because they're having an issue?
I mean, we'll send a couple more packages like this around. You know, it'll help a few people.
Cathal, they take them. They take them right now. Trust me.
I'd imagine so.
I don't have a mask. I haven't. I didn't buy one because, to be honest, I was following World Health Organization advice that said that they're not needed unless you yourself are sick or you're
ill.
Caring for something. Yeah, so I just wrapped my scarf around my face, and I think look a bit like a kind of a Mexican bandit from the Wild West movies from the 50s.
Or like a proper hooligan in the stands of some sort of second division
like an ultra, yeah, exactly. All right,
that would be it, yeah.
Right, guys, as you can see, I noticed that we don't have any viewers at the moment, but I'm sure some people will watch this later on YouTube. And we are talking today, not about the weather, but, well, a little bit actually, because we are talking about the seasons, as you can see here. So it's a little bit. But we are mainly focusing on holidays, traditions, celebrations. I don't know, Cathal, you chose this one, I guess. Lifting everyone's spirits, thinking about better times, right?
Yeah. And I thought that, like, you know what, we may as well, like, it's getting to summer now where it's going to be kind of a season, hopefully, of getting back to some level of normal life. And so I thought, God, we get some holidays and traditions. And sure, if not, we can always learn a bit about, because obviously, you yourself are from Manchester and I'm from Ireland, but you have your Irish roots as well. Thought it would be a cool thing to just talk about the different traditions around the world.
Absolutely, yeah. Because even though, especially like between, say, you're from Ireland, I'm from Britain, we live in Italy, but so we've all got the same celebrations, but we all do things differently, as you say. So there's enough that's similar and enough that's different. So the first thing we got to do here is identify the different holidays. So these are six different holidays from, well, around the world, really. As you can see in picture A, we have Christmas. Which is, a lot of people, I think, when you ask them, they'll tell you that's their favorite holiday.
I would be one of those people, I think, in that group of people saying Christmas definitely is a favorite time of year. Not like, I think my reasons for this have changed over the years. I don't know about Julian, but my reasons for it being my favorite is because well, originally, of course, it was just presents, Santa Claus and all that. It was great, waking up ridiculously early to
oh my God, I know,
open presents. Like it got bad. There were years when we would sit down, or my parents would like literally just go to bed, and then my brother and I, like a half an hour later, would be like, "Let's go down and look at the presents."
Yes, 1 minute, 1 minute past midnight.
Oh, exactly. It's like he has to arrive on Christmas Day. It just has to happen. But now I guess it's more about more based on, well, I guess food it would be a contributing factor, as well as just getting to see everybody. Because now since I've
Yeah.
moved away, I think I appreciate more seeing all my family together. So it's a lot nicer that way.
Yeah, I agree because when you get older, and the thing is, when you're a child, you can't buy anything. Now that
Yeah,
we're adults, if I want something, I can just have it.
yeah.
So even though the present buying is lovely, especially if someone surprises you with something that you didn't expect, that is lovely. But yes, like you now, it's the kind of social side of it that means more to
Yeah.
me. It's family, it's friends, it's going to the pub on Christmas Eve,
Oh
um,
yes.
which is a very popular tradition in Britain and Ireland. Going to the pub on Christmas Eve with friends and family, that's a nice tradition that I always enjoy. And the food, yeah, and we even in my family, we actually in the past have been known to do a printout menu for our,
Printout. Wow. Now
I think we
that is going all out.
I
That's
think
great.
we only did that once. I think, but my mum and I will every year will sit down at some point and kind of do a menu,
Oh yeah.
because you've got to try and please everyone, because people want specific things. Like for
Yeah.
example, my sister-in-law insists on having honey roasted parsnips.
Oh. Now that
Now,
sounds fantastic.
yes, now see, I don't particularly like parsnips. No one really likes them, but she kind of insists on it.
This is like a friends situation where everybody has to have their own type of potatoes or something.
Yes, like now that I'm older, I really identify with Monica in that moment when, yeah, there's 3 different types of potato to make everyone happy.
Well, our system for ensuring that the peace is kept is that, like, for the 12 days of Christmas, as it were, uh, because there's 6 of us in our family, each person gets the chance to choose a meal twice. So
Ah,
everybody
that's
has a chance
interesting.
to. So yeah, you choose the meal, you make the meal, and then that's like your choice for it,
Ah,
I guess.
interesting. That's a
So
nice
yeah,
tradition.
yeah. And so it gets to a point where we're kind of messing and joking because our dad really only knows how to make a couple of things. One of them being shepherd's pie, and so like shepherd's
Hey,
pie.
nothing wrong with shepherd's pie.
Oh, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. He has perfected it over the years. But it's just so funny to say, I wonder what Dad's going to make for his 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. What'll it be, Dad? Beef bourguignon, coq au vin.
What potatoes are you going to use in your shepherd's pie? Rooster,
Yes,
regular?
yes. Red or yellow skin. What'll it be?
Yeah.
So, guys, shepherd's pie, for those of you who may claim that the Britain and Ireland are bereft of real food culture, I
Oh,
promise
I
you that
tell
is
you.
shepherd's pie is a pie made of lamb mince, and it's got a potato topping, and it is quite excellent. Quite excellent.
Fantastic.
It's almost like 2 meals in one. It's almost like kind of mince and mashed potatoes, but it's
It
putting it in the
really is.
oven. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh my God. The bovril, the key ingredient being the bovril, which is just
Oh
like
no, hang on. Okay, shots fired. So Cal, you have to now explain what is Bovril. Good luck.
oh God, I don't want to. It's the most awful but wonderful thing in the entire world. I feel like a lot of people equate. I would say it's similar to the controversial Marmite that
Yeah,
sometimes go
it's
around.
not a million miles away. Yeah, it's
Well, and
basically
not in terms of like ingredients or anything. I'm saying in terms of the controversial nature
the
of
way it divides people.
it. Yeah, yeah. I actually don't even know how I would begin to describe Bovril. I guess it's kind of
It's a meat paste.
yeah,
It's like a meat concentrate, maybe.
yes, yes.
And Yeah, and you can use it if you add hot water. It basically makes a, I don't know, what would you say? A stock or a gravy? What would you even
Kind of
call
like
it?
a stock. Yeah, yeah. It's similar to what when you like have a chicken stock cube or something, and it kind of mixes
Yeah,
in
like
with the water or
OXO.
something. Yes.
Like, yeah, exactly. These are things that they're very niche, like to the
Oh
English
yeah.
speaking world.
Yeah.
You won't find these in Italy.
Oh God, no. No, they'd make
Um,
things much nicer in Italy.
yeah, they'll have actual stock that they've made themselves, for example.
It's been in the cupboard for 20 years. What?
Yeah, yes. In fact, there's a line in the American sitcom Frasier where one of the English characters is looking for her jar of Bovril, and she's informed by one of the brothers. He says, "I threw it away. It smelled disgusting." And she goes, "Of course it did. It's English."
I mean,
Uh,
not wrong.
so
It does not
not
smell the best.
no, but it yields some lovely things.
It really
So the rest
does.
of these holidays, so Halloween, not a massive one. I feel like in Britain.
No,
Um, not really, not like it is in the United States and Canada, where I think it's a much bigger celebration.
absolutely, absolutely. I think again, like as I said earlier, with Christmas being different to when you were a child as when it is what it is now. I think Americans never really lose the excitement of Halloween. Um, Whereas like ourselves, we kind of we have our fun, we gather the sweets, and then once you like hit 14, maybe even 13, probably anytime you turn up to someone's door, they're like, go away.
Yeah, I can remember. I can remember. In fact, when I was growing up, we had like a gate, a gate to get to our back door, and we would always lock it
Right.
on Halloween nights to keep the
Oh
trick
my
or
God,
treat
that's incredible.
to keep the trick or treaters out. What miserable people we were. We would literally. I definitely remember that. We would literally lock them out because, especially like, I feel like my parents resented this as this idea that it was just this really imported, not the holiday, but the whole, tradition of trick or treating.
Yeah.
Um, as
Yeah.
you said, like once my brother and I were past the age of, I mean, basically once we were in double digits, I don't remember dressing up or going to people's
Mm.
houses. I
Like
think
my
for
mom
us,
was a huge fan and advocate of Halloween. She was just
really,
all over it like all the time. Yeah,
wow,
she loved the idea of like she bought into the trick or treat aspect and the fact that like when kids came to the door and they said trick or treat, she would actually like sometimes just ask them like what's your trick? And so like almost like
and the kids,
getting a stick, poke the
yeah,
children, like
but
do something
yeah,
for me.
yeah, because I think a lot of people don't even know what they mean when they say trick or treat.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
don't. Yeah, because and again, Halloween's not really a thing here in Italy. I mean, you might have a party, you might dress up, but
Yeah.
I feel like you're more likely to do it as an adult in some countries than as a child.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, we always had, because my mum was like that, we always had some sort of song or limerick or poem or something that up our sleeve ready to go if someone did ask us that question. So yeah, it was kind of it was a weird one. It was a fun one, but a weird one.
Yeah, yeah, I just think the other thing is, especially for me, because my girlfriend Anna, for example, is a massive fan of horror films. So
Oh,
that's our tradition. Is in our apartment, like we've been together for 3 years now, and our thing is that we watch a horror film.
nice. Yeah, see,
That's
like
how.
you could create your own traditions around some holidays like this where maybe it's not quite as traditional or like
Mm,
there aren't so many customary things to do like with Christmas. I feel it's very kind of rigid because you have the date and you have all the different things and bells and whistles that surround it, whereas with something like Halloween it is only one day, and there are so many different things that you can do with it.
but Carl, because I mean, my mum was raised in quite a traditional Catholic household, and
Mm,
she remembers more the religious side of Halloween, which was going to the cemetery to pay homage to the dead and to the saints. You know, that's the. Was that everything in your family for your parents, your grandparents? Was it?
I mean, I don't really remember too much about because my parents weren't particularly like, even though they were raised in that those kinds of houses, they didn't really carry that forward to us. Like we we would have gone to mass and to church and stuff like when we were younger, but once we like got out of primary school, we were always kind of given the choice of the option, do you want to go to mass this Sunday? And we were always just like, no, I'm staying in bed. Not getting up for 10 o'clock mass.
Yeah, the moment my mum was old enough to escape, she did the same thing. Yeah, she remembers being, you know, she was like, I didn't go to the cemetery, I was taken to the cemetery as a child.
Oh yes, very much
you know,
so, very much so. Anytime Granny visited, always had to go. But apart from those weekends,
yeah. But I think in Italy, again, it's just not, because this generation and younger generations are not as religious. There was the religious observation, but now it's well, in a way, it is similar to Christmas. It's a very commercial thing now. You just, you see lots of things on sale in shops.
Yeah.
New Year's, I feel like we can skip because it's the most overrated holiday. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Most hyped up, but then most overrated completely, and disappointing, I would say, as well.
Yeah.
Although I did have a pretty good New Year's this year.
Yeah? Were you here or in Ireland?
I was in Ireland, and like it was the first time that I'd spent New Year's, I think, outside of my family home.
Okay.
Which is no knock on family home, but like it's just like it just felt like any other evening at home with just like a random champagne glass at midnight. But this New Year's that I had in Ireland, I went to my friend's house and it was mental, very, very, very fun.
Wait a second,
lots of raucous things.
I'm having a flashback. Was that the video where you guys were just saying random multiples of numbers?
Yes, where it's from like the because in darts when someone scores 180, the whole crowd goes mad. My friend Brian just started asking people various different math equations which added up or subtracted to 180, so that everybody said 180, and then everyone went da 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 da.
Yeah, guys, when things are back to normal, guys, and we're back in school, you must get Cathal to show you some videos of him and his friends. Like, they are very entertaining. You feel like you're part of the magic.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'll be sure to put that. That'll be in a new focus activity. Cathal and his friends, 8 to 10.
8 to 10, Cathal's videos, absolutely. So Easter. Now, this is an interesting one because actually, Easter was celebrated by the Eastern Orthodox Church yesterday, and one of my Greek friends said that it's her favorite holiday. She prefers Easter to Christmas, and I do think it. She's, so I like Easter as well. Again, I'm not religious, but I like the food, family, social element to it quite a lot. Similar for you, Cathal?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We would have had because obviously there's the religious time of Lent before Easter, when like to kind of commemorate the 40 days and 40 nights of fasting. So Lent for us, I don't know about in this part of the world, but Lent would be a time period where you decide to give up some sort of food, usually something that you like, so that you don't, so like you just pay respect to that. And so what we used to do when we were younger was we would always go off sweets. We would always say, right, we're not going to have sweets for this period of time.
Good for you.
But we would keep a massive jar of all the sweets that we would buy in that period, so that on like exceptional days like St. Patrick's Day or at the end of Lent, there would just be this huge jar filled with treats to eat. Yeah, it was great.
yeah, I think, and again, like you say, a lot of people do it even for non-religious reasons. They just think to themselves, 40 days of 40 days of no drinking, no smoking, no meat, no chocolate probably will do me some good.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's become a kind of a secular version of Lent, I think. But yeah, I like Easter. I like Easter in Italy because this is traditionally a very Catholic country, so there's a lot of celebration. You hear the church bells. There's a lot of good food. People gather. It's a nice. Italy is a nice country to have Easter in.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I would agree.
Valentine's Day, for me, again, not really a big, relationship or not, I don't really buy into it.
I think I had this discussion with Michelle a while ago, and like we were saying that like Valentine's Day is like just a complete like Hallmark holiday, as we call it, like for cards, chocolate, consumerist kind of consumer holiday, and we were making the point that you shouldn't need or you should not require a day to show your like feelings towards your loved ones. You should just like do it all the time.
Exactly. That's my mum's argument against Mother's Day is
Okay.
why is only one day a year dedicated to telling mothers how fantastic they are?
Yeah. It should be every day. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
and the one good thing about Valentine's Day, because again, I think I had this conversation with another teacher. I don't remember was what maybe it was Tiago, but I don't remember. He was basically saying the great thing about Valentine's Day is the day after, when all of the chocolate is basically like 50% cheaper because it's just everything they couldn't sell. They now have to get rid of.
Exactly. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, it's a great idea. Oh my god! Every
Yeah,
15th of February now.
15th of
I'm gonna
February.
mark it.
Exactly. That's when you want to go to the shops and buy all the stuff because they're just trying to sell it then.
Yeah.
And the last one is Independence Day. Now, the flag is the flag of the United States, but of course, many countries have an Independence Day celebration. Not the United Kingdom, although we are the cause of many countries' Independence Day celebrations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Ireland. I don't think we're not going to. We're not like we have a technical kind of political Independence Day, but it's not as big of a celebration as American Independence Day.
Was
And
it not just a few?
we will not
Was it?
have we'll not have it until we have all 32 counties.
Yeah, exactly. Was it not a few days ago? Wikipedia's On This Day thing told me that a few days ago was the Republic Act Day. Was the day that the law became. That was the. I
And
don't know.
as in the Republic of Ireland, was it?
Yeah, it was the day
Like
that
the
the law was passed in the Dáil that made Ireland officially severed its final ties with the British Empire.
it probably was because I remember learning about this in history. It was around April time that this kind of thing was happening, which is crazy. Good, like I like think about like the actual letter or the document was signed in what 1922, but the official ties weren't actually severed until like as early as 1949.
Something like that. Yeah.
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 So
So,
very
but
very young
again,
country, Ireland.
very young country, but you don't have like it's not because, for example, Independence Day in the US is a very big holiday. It's a big celebration.
Huge.
Ireland, there's no kind of Foundation Day, Independence Day thing.
No. Our closest thing to that level of celebration is St. Patrick's Day, and even the Americans do it bigger than we do.
Very true.
Like most things, though, I think.
Okay, now guys, this exercise here is, I promise it's not a test of your knowledge of holidays and celebrations. What it's more about is about our prepositions. It's about recognizing when do we use in and when do we use on for these prepositions. So I think we don't need to kind of go through these. We can just bring them up here.
Yep.
But what we can see is the kind of general rule is that in is for a month. So, in April, for example. And on is for a day. So, for example, if you look at number 9, for example, it says American Independence Day is on July 4th. But New Year's Day is in January.
Yeah. So anytime you have the number, anytime you have the date, the 4th of July, the 31st of October, on is the one that's used.
And in is also used if you want to talk about a season as well. So you can say, for example, you can say Easter is in spring. For example, Christmas is in winter, for example.
Yeah.
Very good. And we've got, hello, Tonio. Hi.
Hello,
I'm Tonio.
Tonio. Welcome.
Hello, Tonio. Welcome. Hey, we have someone.
Finally, thank you so much for joining us. We were so lonely.
English friend. Oh, friend.
What friend?
Oh, little in-betweeners joke for you. Thanks for coming, guys. And so, as you see here in this exercise as well, the 4 seasons. So, guys, we know the 4 seasons. This is not the piece of music by Vivaldi.
Mm-hmm. Even though some inspiration has been drawn from the seasons themselves for that.
Also for the pizza as well.
There you go.
There you go. So the seasons in English, guys, are spring, summer, autumn, and I know there's an N at the end, but in the pronunciation, it's just autumn, and winter. So
maybe I could say, Liam, in this case, in America, autumn is actually not known as autumn. In fact, it's known as fall. So if you're visiting America, or if I don't know, you're talking to an American person and they're referring to the season after summer, they might not say autumn, they'll say fall. So just like the verb fall.
Yeah, exactly. So again, an American person could say, they could say, for example, my birthday is in the fall, for example, or in fall. You say sometimes they use the article the fall, but you don't have to. You can drop it and people will understand.
I think the article is more used whenever they're talking about the season of a particular year. So they say in the fall of 2000 and whatever. Or in the summer of 19 whatever.
Yeah, so don't worry too much. It's just
of 69.
Don't start. Bloody Brian Adams.
Oh, it's great.
It's everything I do for you. That stupid song from the Robin Hood film. Not a fan. Not a fan. So it's good because we know that I know that prepositions can be a bit tricky sometimes. So now, adverbs. We love an adverb. An old adverb.
Oh, yeah.
These are adverbs. These are adverbs of frequency. So this is referring to. So frequency is how often something occurs or happens or you do something. I don't know, Cathal, do you want to explain these 3 on the left? Just so I can. So I'll shut up for a second.
So, so these adverbs of frequency here that we have, usually, always, and never. These are just 3 examples. We have a few other ones that we might use. Something like often, sometimes, hardly ever. These are other adverbs of frequency that we use. And so, as Liam said, they denote how often something happens. So the term usually we use whenever you can use also generally or typically, normally, all these kinds of things, just to say that it happens a kind of majority of the time. Always, right, as you might expect, all the time. And never, it does not happen ever. And so 0, right? I never do this. I don't do it ever. So these kinds of ones will be used. The ones that I mentioned before like often and sometimes and hardly ever. These
Yeah.
are kind of other ones that are in the middle, I guess, of kind of in and around 50%, either above or below
Yeah.
of the time, I guess you
Yeah.
would say.
And like Cathal says, you will find lots of synonyms for them. So someone could say, like you say, sometimes, every now and then, frequently. There are,
Hmm.
we the ones we teach you are probably the most common ones, and they help us as a foundation to understand. But definitely have a look. Get out your dictionaries, your thesauruses, and look for some other ones, because there's always there's never just one way to say something in English. You'll always find 2 or 3 synonyms. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly, exactly. And it's worth saying that anytime we use an adverb of frequency, it's always, right? Adverb of frequency, it's always with the present simple. So adverbs of frequency always use the present simple.
Oh, wait, well, hang on. But, would you not say to someone like, for example, you're always reading?
Oh yes, actually, that's true. That's true.
But
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean, that's for
it's a bit.
that for me. It's like,
Is
yeah.
it?
Okay,
I
sorry.
don't.
Go for it.
No, I'm just thinking, is it an Americanism? I feel like it's more American when people say like you're always cooking these days. No, it's not, because it's about present. It's like
It
you're
is
all
basically present simple. Like it is saying that
yeah,
it's happening like all the time, but it's using the
but in a
gerund form of
defined
a verb.
period. It's
Yeah.
like you're always reading these days. Like, say you're studying. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
weird, because maybe grammatically it's not quite right, but we do it.
Yeah, we do say it. I mean, that's just one example of many kind of exceptions that we would take when it comes to this sort of thing, you know?
And yeah, exactly. And I was thinking of another exception, because like um adverbs of frequency before the verb,
Yeah.
so but you hear people say, I travel often for work. You
Yeah.
we definitely do that, don't we? Are we breaking our own rule there, would you say?
I think so. I think so. I think that maybe in that sense, when you're breaking the rule, you're speaking in a more formal way. I think that I travel often for work is like, but maybe just to me anyway, it sounds more formal than I often travel for work.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds more kind of grandiose if you say, I eat out, but you wouldn't say I eat out always. You
I
wouldn't.
guess not. I guess not.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like only some adverbs of frequency sound okay after a verb.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think what
Yeah,
it
because
is,
I don't think.
sorry, what I was going to say, I think it's this. I often go to a location, or
Yes.
if you don't specify the location, I often go.
So I go often to a location, but if you're not saying the location, you often go. Is that it? Or
Like, if you said, we're getting into the weeds here a bit, but I'm just thinking about it now. It's like if you said, I I often go to the gym. You wouldn't say I go
yeah.
often to the gym.
Oh yeah, it's more like that. That I go often would be like the response to someone's question about that.
Exactly.
Like
It's like, do you
how
like the gym? Yeah, I go often. Stop.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but I often go to this place.
I go sometimes. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Like, hey, do you like that restaurant? Yeah, I go there. I go there sometimes. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Epiphany.
Mm. Oh
Epiphany.
my
My
god, yeah.
my favorite holiday. Epiphany.
Oh my
a,
god.
li- a
Look
little bit
guys,
of the
look at this.
epiphany.
A little bit of the epiphany. We're learning English too right here.
Yeah, I
Look
was
at
gonna
this.
say, it's yeah. Yeah, I never. Obviously, I know that we do it, but I never thought about that's the distinction. Really, when you think about it, it's are you specifying where or not?
Yeah, interesting,
Very good.
interesting. God,
Right.
English is just—it's just a head wreck, really.
It really is. It really is. What an unfortunate lingua franca, you know.
I tell you.
Um, absolutely. So, guys, yeah, you can see here, but obviously in these examples, it's very clear that the adverb of frequency is going before the verb. Okay, because in these, in these examples, if you said, for example, I celebrate usually Christmas, no, not good. Doesn't work.
No.
It's just some specific examples that Cathal and I were just meandering on about. These ones,
We were doing it.
yeah, you can't say I wear always a costume. That's impossible. You'd have to say I always wear.
Yeah.
Same with I celebrate never, I celebrate usually. Can't do it. So it is kind of these. It's like Cathal says. It's a head wreck. It's a strange one.
Yeah. I think I would say, like, as a maybe a general rule to the exception to the rule, maybe you could say often and sometimes would be the main ones that kind of
Yes. Yeah.
would be the
Yeah.
ones that change.
Yeah. There are some. Yeah, where it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, a bit more vocab because we've got coming into the final few minutes here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is some vocabulary related to kind of what we do, what we eat, what we give, what we get, etc. About to celebrate.
Yeah.
So I think again, what we can do is you and I, Cathal, can just kind of have a discussion about these because just a bit quicker. So gifts. Now I should say, gift is American English. In the UK, we say present. And I know that because if I ever say the word gift, my mum will correct me and she will say, present, we're not American. She actually does do that.
Really? That's incredible.
Oh, yeah. If I say gift, she goes, present, we're not American.
I love that. I love that.
I know. This is the problem. My mum's an English teacher as well. This is the problem.
Ah, yes.
People are very frightened to speak in front of us. So, yeah, presents are something that you buy for people or you get them. And get in this context is like to say receive. Okay, so you can say, we get presents. It's one of those weird ones. You can use it for both. You can say we get presents
to buy the present or to receive it.
Yeah, and it's the difference is for or from. I get presents for you. I get presents from you. So the verb get is really useful. At the same time, it can be a bit confusing because we use it for everything in English.
Because I remember maybe as we discussed this is about 20 odd meanings for
it was, yeah, and Danielle, our colleague Danielle, was the one who told me. I actually overheard it in one of her lessons. She was explaining there are at least 20, if not more, definitions of the verb get in English.
Yeah.
So guys, do not worry if it feels a bit, because it's like it's a super, super common verb, but at the same time, people do struggle with it because it can be used for everything. It can be used for everything, but it can't.
Yes. Exactly. And so you can see picture B. Then we have some costumes there, some wonderful carnival-looking costumes there. I don't know if that's a kind of typical Halloween costume. Maybe that's one Liam has cooped up from his time of trick or treating.
Yeah,
certainly.
Yeah,
I think not a traditional one.
No, I think you're right. That's more of a carnival costume. I think like in Venice with the masks and all the color. Fireworks. Big deal in most countries for New Year's Eve. That's kind of standard global, like from China to the Pacific Islands to America to Britain to Italy. Everyone likes fireworks.
Yeah.
But also very big in America on Independence Day.
Of course. Yeah.
I think. And also in some parts, I know because I've had students from there, in some parts of Latin America, fireworks are a big thing at Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Which I've had students from Venezuela and Colombia explain to me that in their country, fireworks are a Christmas thing as well.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yes. And then we've got the tree. Of course, that's a big thing at Christmas, again, in many, many, many cultures, as are the eggs in various forms at Easter. And the last thing I would say, again, just on the difference, is that candy is American English, whereas in the UK, we say sweets. Not sweet, the adjective, but sweets as in like the little like gummy bears, caramels, things like that.
Exactly.
All right, guys, thank you. Or Guy,
There we are,
whoever.
yeah.
Or Guy,
Tonio, I
singular.
believe, who was that showed up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for propping us up, Tonio. We really appreciate it. But guys,
we were
guys,
really struggling there.
We were, but if you watch it later, I hope this is useful to you. We've got a bit of vocab, a bit of preposition work in here. So I hope this was useful. And like Cathal says, I hope that talking about celebrations reminds us that there are better times to come,
Exactly,
which there are.
Exactly.
All right, guys. You have have a great week, and we will see you again soon. Keep an eye out online for all the other activities that we've got going on.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.